Well, good evening and welcome to this Tuesday, March 23rd edition of Bermuda School Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and I'm joined by several youngsters that are in middle school. I'm going to first let them introduce themselves. Give me your name, your age, and the school in which you attend, starting with you, Zayor.
My name is Ayua Baston. I go Bentley Institute Middle School. My birthday is in December. My birthday is December 18, 2008. And I love playing football and I love to do running.
Okay. Ben?
Hello, my name is Ben Porter. I like to run and play football, and I go to Saltis.
Okay. And Jayla?
Hi, my name is Jella Pete Butterfield. I go Dalwood Middle School and I play football.
Okay. Well, let me start with you, Jayla. Let me start with you. Why did you pick football?
Well, I started from young and it's a very enjoyable game and it's kind of like a mind game at the same time. So it's kind of like a 2-and-2 game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Did you start in primary school and what got you started into it?
I can't remember when I started, but I started from pretty young. I started because I always saw my dad playing football and it looked very fun. And when I tried it, I realized that it was a bit harder than I realized.
Okay. All right. And Ben, you stated that you like to run and you like to play football. What distance are you as a runner?
Well, I'm not good for long. Well, I'm all right for long distance, but I would much rather sprint. So 100, 200, and I also
Okay.
do long jump.
Okay. All right. Do you compete just at school or where do you compete?
Well, I do some at school. So yeah, it's just basically just for school.
Okay. And what about football? Who do you play for?
I play for SD Bascom. I started very young, at probably 5 or 4, and I started because I used to see it on like TV or like someone playing it, and I just wanted to give it a try. And then ever since then, I've just liked it.
Okay. All right. And Zayor, what about you? What attracted you to the sports that you say you like, football and the like?
I like playing football because not just because to win, just because I like to play with my friends and because it's a team sport. And I like to win. I hate losing. But you always gotta lose to learn how to win. And
Okay.
I like to run my distance to run is mostly long distance and I like long jump. So and I competed in 24th of May when before the pandemic happened and I came first in my age group.
Okay. So that you run in the classic. That was your first year running. It would have been 2 years ago.
No, I started running in 24th of May when I was 8.
Okay. Okay. So you worked your way up and then you won your age group. So what's next? Winning it overall or what's next?
Overall,
Well, you had a year off to prepare.
yeah,
What does it take to run that race? I mean, you guys run from Front Street. There's a lot of people watching. You come through. What? How do you feel running that particular race?
it's really tiring, but I gotta push through.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um, Jayla, what activities outside of the sport that you like do you also like doing?
I also like to play netball and run also, but yeah.
Yeah. When you look at those other sports, are you into it in a team sense, or are you just kind of playing it at school?
Well, I played netball in school, but also like out of school for no village, so it's kind of like a team sport, same thing as football. Um, and for running, like I haven't been in running like that lately, but I'm getting back. I'm really getting back into running now. But
Mhm.
um,
Okay. Um, Ben, for you, any other sports that you like to do?
Well, I sometimes play basketball at like school at recess or lunch, and then sometimes at my home. So yeah.
Okay, all right. How has this pandemic, which has stopped a lot of things, how has it affected you and the sports you like to do?
Well, for football, I really don't like how the pandemic hit us because it's been canceled a couple times, and we don't get to play matches, and we don't get to train as much, so we can't get better with like our teams. We have to do it at home.
Mm,
Running somewhat, but I can still run against people and compete.
okay, cool, cool, cool. And Zayo, what about you? How has this affected you?
Um, the pandemic affected me because before the pandemic, I was able to go outside and train and stuff. Now when we went on quarantine, we can't train. We had to stay inside. We got yeah, we had to stay inside. We couldn't go outside and practice and stuff. So I got lazy.
How do you how are you gonna get off of being lazy?
Work harder.
Okay, all right, okay, cool. And Jayla, let me ask you, how has the pandemic affected you?
Well, for me, it affected me like very enormously because um one football like it stopped. It's not no training, can't have any more games like that anymore. And like Zayo said, I'm getting very lazy, so I'm gonna have to start going outside when well, if I'm on quarantine. Well, I need more quarantine. Play ball, and if training starts back up, work a lot harder. Netball's winter league's done, and mostly we're all at home, so laziness is starting to devour us.
Mm. Well, as athletes, as well as student athletes, how what advice are you getting from coaches, teachers, and all to ensure that I know both of you, you and Zayo, have said, you're getting lazy, but what advice are you getting from the coaches to try and stay active with what limited space you have? And I'm going to ask you, Zayo.
I go training in the mornings now with one of my coaches on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to practice to make me a lot better than than I was before, and it's really helping.
Okay, so you're a morning person?
No,
But you get up to go and do this. How many times do you have to be told to get out of your bed to get ready to go to training then?
every time I have to go train, 3 times or twice.
Okay, all right. Ben, what about you? Are you a morning person and when do you like to train?
Definitely not in the morning. I really like them like 7-ish in the night.
Oh, okay, okay. But I mean, a lot of top athletes like to train first thing in the morning to get their day started. But you're saying no, you'll rather end your day with a training session?
Yeah, or maybe
Now
have.
you said you play with FC Bascom.
Yes.
Now they have morning sessions, but you're primarily in the afternoon or evening.
Well, right now because COVID, they don't, but they used to. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have the morning sessions, but you never took part in those morning sessions.
Well, I did, but I just didn't like getting up in the morning.
And what about you, Jayla? Are you a morning person? Are you a
Well, if I wanted to train in the morning, yes, I am halfway a morning person. I would train in the morning, but like then I would rather prefer end my day with training.
okay? All right. Now, what position do you play in football, and why did you pick that position?
Um, I play down the back, like I'll play like right back or left
Mhm.
back. it depends on which team I'm really playing for. I chose, well, yeah, I chose that spot because one, I have a heavy foot, and it could also help me with decision making. So I could play a lot of places, but I chose down back to help me with one of my strengths.
Okay. All right. Cool. And what position do you play, Ben? And why that position?
Well, I used to play center back like 2 years ago, but then now I play right wing back because I have speed pace. And I think for a right wing back, that's very important so you can make runs and then play the ball in.
Okay. Cool. And what about you, Zion?
I play left wing and right wing because I like to use my pace and I like to cut in and shoot people in the net.
Okay. So we got two defenders and a striker. Almost got a team. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about school and sports because obviously you've all missed school sports. But how has that affected you and your classmates not being able to do um, sports against other schools? I'm pretty sure. I'm not even sure if you guys done school sport. PE, but not playing against other schools in various sports. How has that affected you and your schoolmates, Ben?
Well, I find it quite annoying because, like, for the school team or PE, you have to play against the same people, and we don't get to like train against different people or play games. So it's just the same thing, sort of.
Okay. And what about you, Jayla? Let's bring you in.
Um, it made me very angry because we didn't get to see how we was growing as a team for what we was working on in training or some and stuff. So if that's the reason we have games. So now that we don't have games or practice matches, we don't get to see how much we're growing as a team.
Okay. And you, Zion?
Not playing football during school hours has given me my grades have been getting up higher than last year because I'll be more focused on my football than my grades.
Okay. Cool. Um, and let's talk a little bit about school. The pandemic has, like Zayor just said, the pandemic has given you the opportunity to kind of focus a little more on your schoolwork. How has your grades improved over this time, Ben?
Yeah, I would say so.
What were you struggling with before that you've kind of seen the improvement now?
Well, last year I was just like, well, my grades were bad, but they've definitely improved in like everything this year.
Okay, cool. What about you, Jayla? Have your grades improved, and what were you struggling with prior to the pandemic that you kind of seen a vast improvement in?
My grades have been better. They've grown, but I've been struggling. Well, really, I haven't been struggling in anything really because my grades were good. Like they weren't bad at all, but
Mhm.
they have improved for like all the subjects because I've been focused on all of them more frequently than sports.
Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna ask Zayor, what would you change about the way school is set up for you now? Obviously, you guys have to go through several things in order to get into school and so forth. But if there was something as a student you would want to change, what would that one thing be from this whole COVID lockdown and restrictions within the school? What would you change?
We can use the electronics during school
When you say electronics, what do you mean?
whenever we want. They can't take it from us, we can use them whenever we want.
Jayla's laughing. You have the same sentiments, Jayla?
Basically, yeah, yeah.
What about you, Ben? What do you think?
I'd probably say the same thing, honestly.
Okay, but the thing is, okay, so you want to be able to use your electronics. I would only imagine you're talking about your cell phones, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. But currently, right now, you can't use your cell phone in school. But when you were doing school from home, did you find the fact that you were able to use your electronic devices during the day, was it an added distraction, or were you able to manage it? I know what answer I'm gonna get, but let's be honest, were you able to concentrate more or less being able to do it from home? Zayo, you're first.
Um, no, I was not able to concentrate as easy as I was able to do at school.
Okay, thank you very much for being honest. What about you, Ben?
Well, I think because like my teacher sometimes said we didn't have to have our cameras on, so some people would just like go on their phones, so it'd be much harder to concentrate on the class.
Okay, all right. And Jayla, what about you?
Wow. Specifically, I wouldn't be on my phone. I would more like blasting music on my TV, you know, vibing. But at the same time, I would actually be listening to my teacher. So I would kind of be focused. I would kind of be. So I would be focused on not. Right.
Not 100%. And I asked that because I heard you guys say you want to be able to use your devices, um, but given the fact that when you were home, you were able to use your devices, you've all admitted that you were kind of distracted. So not being able to utilize your phones during school time, is that a plus that you could now focus wholly on school? Jayla?
While adult, like maybe in art, we was able to use music. We was able, well, at least me, I was able to focus more when I was doing work, individually. But I think it will be a plus for some people, depending on who you are.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's a good point. What about you, Zion?
I believe that some people prefer to use the electronics for the good ways, and some people use it in a bad way. So
Mm,
that's probably most of the reason why most teachers don't let us use our phones in school, because they don't trust the children to use them properly.
okay, cool. And Ben?
I agree with Zywar said because like if we had our phones out in class, we probably wouldn't be able to concentrate. Well, everyone at least.
Okay, cool. Now let's go into subjects. What do you consider your best subject, Jayla?
Hmm. Let's see. Could PE be a subject? Because to me, that's a subject.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, PE and lunch. PE and lunch are my two best subjects.
Lunch isn't a subject.
To me, it is. You're timed, so might as well just be a subject. Might as well, like, you're timed. So you have a period from one, so time. Might as well just
Oh,
might as well.
okay, so PE and lunch for Jayla. What about you, Ben? What is your strongest subject?
PE, recess, and lunch.
What? I'm still trying to figure out how you guys get lunch being a period. Come on, you're serious? Zayo, listen, don't let me down, Zayo. Don't let me down, Zayo. What's your strongest subject?
PE, math, social studies, music, art, and lunch.
Lot to
Oh
be learned.
boy. I've been out of school way too long if lunch is a period. But anyway, let's talk about the subject that you find most difficult and why. Zion, I'm gonna start back with you.
My hardest subject is English because I don't like to read.
Okay. All right. But let me ask you this. Well, I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. What about you, Jayla? What would be your toughest subject?
Um, it's kind of. I would say, well, I don't really have a hard subject. I try to make all my subjects easy for me, so it won't be complicated for me in any way.
Hmm.
So, well, right now, the process it's got to be math.
Okay. And why would you say math?
Well, I'm not very good at fractions, so yeah, we're covering that right now, and it's not going so well.
Are you doing it online or are you doing it in person in school?
Well, my school came out I think today. Well, we wasn't in school today, so online.
Okay. And were you finding it a little easier in person that you can actually speak with the teacher, or you're finding it a little more difficult or easier being online?
I think it's easier, well, for anything like in person because in person the teacher could like, verbally talk to you and it won't be messing up because like maybe internet or something, or you wasn't
Hmm.
able to hear them. So in person it's way better because they could like draw it out or make it, understandable.
Okay. All right. And Ben, what would you consider being your toughest subject?
Probably like computing because sometimes there's just really confusing terms that like my whole class doesn't understand.
Okay. And are you doing remote learning or are you at school?
We're at school now.
Okay. Now, when you talk about most of the class doesn't understand, what is the tough thing about about computing?
Well, right now we have to make a game and code it, and like we didn't know how to do that, so we just had to like learn and ask for the teacher's help a lot.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now let me ask you this: what in your outside of PE and outside of lunch, in your favorite subject, how does that help you in your sport? Because sometimes when you're doing a subject and you're actually, well, sometimes when you're training, the coach might ask you to do a drill that you could relate to it as something you've learned in the class. So what type of subject is that you can relate to what you do in your sport? Zayo?
I can relate to math because math you need to calculate the angle to be able to shoot a ball, to be able to calculate how far the person is to pass it, to calculate where the person is in your point of view, and you need to like say, yo, well, 25 meters away from me, and I need to pass it to you. I need to be able to calculate that so I have enough power to pass it over to you.
Oh, great stuff. Great answer. Great answer. What about you, Ben?
Can I say P as well?
What's that?
Can I say
No, I said no PE. You can't use PE. You can't use lunch.
Well, I would probably say then like drama because we do drama and we have to do like it's sort of like mind games and we do like these games and you have to like think of stuff on the spot and sort of for football you have to do the same to see like where someone is to pass them or when you should shoot it so
Mm,
you don't lose the ball.
okay, cool. And Jayla?
Um, I would say same thing, math, and yeah, math because well, you have to calculate everything. You have to calculate sometimes wind speed, like when it's very windy, ball's gonna go flying. So wind speed, how fast the ball's going when it comes to you, how to stop for when you stop it. Calculate, angles, like Sayal said, for looking for the person from your point of view and from where you're standing.
Okay, all right. Now, I want you to name 3 things within your sport that you really, really like to do, whether it be warm up, whether it be a drill, just 3 things you really like to do in your sport. Ben?
Well, I like to first, sometimes we do really fun like warm-ups. So the like warm-up games, probably shooting drills because it's just fun. And then maybe like a bit of short running in like the middle of training.
Okay. What about you, Jayla?
Wow, some people might disagree with me on this. I really like wonders.
Okay.
Because you run around, not just chasing the ball, but you have to figure out the sometimes people will pass to the same people, so you gotta remember it's kind of like it's one running around and get you warmed up. And I like shuttles. I don't know why I like running so much, even though like I will run sometimes, but I like shuttles. Like it helps you with when you're turning, when you pivot, to get to the ball if it goes past you or if you stop and it goes in front of you. So it helps you with stopping when you're running, pivoting, and helps you with speed change, like running again.
Okay. Cool. And Zayor?
Like how Ben said, I like to do shooting drills and I like to do passing back and forth with another person. Like say me and another person when we're right next to each other and we pass back and forward. And I like to do wonder like how Jill said.
And name 3 things, Zayor, that you don't like to do in training.
Shuttles, laps around the field, and I'm talking about I'm talking about on a game being benched.
A sitting bench. Okay. All right. What about you, Ben? 3 things you don't like to do. Now, your
Like
coach might be listening.
lots of laps around the field. I like the end when we're all tired. We should do like a lot of laps or a lot of running at the end. Probably like keeping the ball up because I'm not that bad at it. But sometimes like you pass it to someone and they pass it to you back like a couple times and then you get out. And then probably like boring passing drills because you just do the same thing.
Okay. And Jayla?
No, I'm different from you lot. I do not like shooting drills, like at all. Like I am not that good at shooting. So whenever we do a shooting drill, no, we'll talk about my shooting skills. That's basically it. Just shooting.
That's the only thing you don't like to do. Okay. All right. All right. Now, taking the place of your coach, can you give me what you would do for a warm up in your sport? And Ben, I want you to use running, not football this time around. Okay. All right. So you're the coach. Give me a warm up plan.
Maybe like so warming up for running, we just like jog around the field very slow, and maybe we could do like things like stretching at the start and do like high knees and like butt kicks. I don't know, and then do like more stretching, and then should be warmed up by then.
Okay. All right. And Jayla, I'm going to ask you to do the netball side.
So, okay. Netball warm up. So normally in netball we would do like 1 or 2 laps around the field, and then we'll stretch. I think like easy 1-2 passes, like just pass to one person, like we normally do, like 2 lines, pass around,
Mm-hmm.
and I say play eggs and bacon because eggs and bacon is a fun game. You split the team into 2 teams on 2 sides of wherever you are. Then you put a ball or 2 in the middle. Then you number the people, whatever number you call, the people on each side come rush to the ball, go back, shoot the ball into the hoop. Whoever makes it first, and they run the ball back to the middle and come back to their team. They win.
Okay. Okay. Using that as a warm up. All right.
Mhm.
And for you, Zayor,
Football or running?
football. Football.
First I would do stretches such as butt kicks, high knees, um, hands to your toes, and then I'll make you do like about 2 laps around the field, and then we'll do passing drills, and then we'll do shooting drills, and then we'll do a little scrimmage.
Okay. Good. Well, you have that eye there. Okay, so now that we've gotten all that, where do you want sports, whichever sport it is, to take you in life? Have you thought that far? And if you haven't, where would you like to be in, say, 7 years time? Because you're going to go through you're in middle school now, you'll be in high school in a few years time, and then after high school. Ben, have you thought that far yet?
Not really. I don't think so. But I would probably like to play in college or stuff like that. I think.
Right. Do you have any idea of what you want to be when you finish school? Out, even if it's not in sport.
No.
No. Okay. Cool. No problem. What about you, Jayla? Have you thought that far yet?
Actually, I have a lot thinking forward of sports wise. I really want to get far in football and running because I think that'll get me far in sports, like pretty far. In college, I really want to do either football or running
Hmm.
because you could do that in college. I don't know about netball doing that in college because I haven't seen any colleges that does netball or does things like that. So football and running's really my best shot.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Zion?
I chose to do football because I want to become a football manager when I get older.
Okay. That's something different because most people won't be a player. You want to be a manager. What do you like about managing that really gets your juices flowing? Why you want to be in that position?
Because you got all this money to spend on players.
What if you're at a club that don't have a lot of money?
Then I get the money.
Okay, all right. Well, you gotta have an ambition. You gotta have a goal. Um, what is some of the advice you've had from your coaches outside of football that you would kind of carry with you for a very long time, Jayla?
Um, well, I've got advice, not specifically from a coach, but I can't remember who else it was, but it was from somebody. And they said, if you like keep like take one more lap or do or whatever you're doing, do it one more time or keep going and you'll make it there. Because if you stop now, you won't make it there.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Ben, from a coaching aspect?
Well, like when let's say you're practicing for like running or football, if
Hmm.
you're doing like laps around the field, do extra so you put extra work in.
Okay. And you, Zayor?
I got this quote from my papa. He said that you have to lose to win.
Mm, must learn to lose to win. Yes. And what about advice from a teacher? What's the best advice you've had from a teacher, Zayor?
Um, My teacher told me that when you get your homework, you do extra when you go home. You do more homework when you get home. Say she gave me a booklet to do. She told me to do more homework, more homework, or for online or to something research about the subject.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. You find that helpful?
Yeah, really helpful.
Okay, good stuff. What about you, Jayla?
I actually got this from my math teacher because she says it a lot. She says, the more I get you to practice or the more you practice is the closest you'll get to succeeding or to the goal point that you want to go to.
Good stuff. All right, good advice. And Ben?
So like each day you do one more than you did the last day. So like let's say you do 30, the next day you do 31, next day you do 32, and then you just keep on going until you get your goal.
Okay, cool. Any idea what high school or what senior school you guys want to attend? Obviously, Ben Soltis has a senior school, so you'll go right into that system, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to when you get to that level?
Probably like sports again because it's like a higher level than what we are right now, so you can improve more.
Okay, all right, cool. And what about you, Jayla?
I think I'm going Barkley. Yeah, I'm going Barkley. Um, in Barkley, I really look forward to getting scholarships from because in high school, I wanna aim to get in some scholarships.
Okay, all right, cool. Nice stuff. And Zayor?
But I'm trying to get a scholarship to go away for school, for high school. I want to go to I'll get a scholarship for a boarding school.
Okay, all right. You're doing the extras in school, so that actually helps towards that. When you are doing sports outside of school, how often do you train, and do you think or do you feel you should train more in preparation, Jayla?
Um, outside of school,
Yes, when you're training outside of school, doing football, doing netball, do you think it's enough training?
yeah, I say you can never have enough training. That's what I
Mm,
say. Personally, I say you can never have enough training unless you give out to it because if you keep on training, you're just gonna get better and better, and the more better you get, is the more closer you get to your goal or where you want to go.
okay,
So,
good stuff. All right. What about you, Zioa?
Um, hmm. Can you please tell me the question again?
Do you think you get enough training, or should you get more training in the sports you do outside of school?
Well, at North Village, we train on Mondays and Saturdays for an hour, but I think we should train at least for 2 hours or an hour and a half because an hour isn't good enough because we never get our whole session done.
Okay, cool. And what about you, Ben?
Well, because of COVID, I don't think we have it long enough because for FC Bascom, we used to play 6 days a week, but now we only play 2 because of COVID and everything that's happening.
Okay. And Ben, let me ask you, how are you balancing um, pre-COVID? How were you balancing school, homework, and sport?
Well, probably just we didn't really get that much homework because I don't know why, but we just didn't. So there wasn't really that much homework to do, so I had time for football and school.
Okay. What about you, Jayla? How are you managing? Because you were talking about you do 3 sports, you have homework, and you have school at such a young age. How are you balancing that?
wow, I try to as much as I can. I try to not get stressed because if you get stressed, you're eventually just not gonna want to do it. So I try not to get stressed as much as I can. So I would do school, stay focused as much in school, so homework won't be so much of a deal, so I could just breeze through homework, so I can just go straight sleep. Um, so I'll just go school, training, do as much as training. So when I get home, I I do like a little workout at home at night, and then do my homework, which I'll just breeze through since I pay attention in school. And yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Ziola? How are you managing?
Personally, I think that it's it's kind of easy and it's kind of hard. The hard thing about it is because I I barely get enough time to have I have my own time now because I'm on quarantine, so I could do whatever I want when I'm home. But before that, I had to be doing work 24/7. I never got my own time to be peace and quiet by myself.
You are something else. Oh my gracious. Now that you guys are kind of all this remote learning other than you, Ben, how challenging is it the fact that when you were on lockdown and you're doing school online, and the fact that the teachers, kind of going through the lesson and so forth, and you don't have that human contact. How much of a challenge was it for you, Ben? Because you guys didn't go right back into school. You've had that remote learning, haven't you?
Yes, we have, but I think it was like much harder to learn and do classes online than school, like normal school.
Yeah. How were you able to express that? Because obviously, you want to be able to either say to your parents or to the teacher, I'm struggling here, and I may need some extra help, or I'm getting it. You know what I mean? Because not everybody is comfortable in that learning atmosphere of one being in the classroom, another one being online.
I think online it was much harder to like contact the teacher and say you need help because like we would only have probably an hour a lesson, and then if we needed help after class, she'd have or he would have another class, and then we wouldn't have the time. They wouldn't have the time to help us.
Okay, cool. What about you, Jayla?
I Well, for online and being like a close city person, like online, I say that I'm pretty comfortable, but it's also kind of like, difficulties here and there because sometimes you might not be able to, log in to maybe your class or, get to your work on time or something and it might be overdue. But mainly it's getting more help because in person the teacher would write on the small board or even on the whiteboard to help you simplify it for you, like working it out. But online they might just explain it verbally and sometimes have that won't like work for you.
Mm, okay. What about you, Zyla?
I don't like remote learning because sometimes the teacher will have technical problems, or sometimes the Zoom meeting code wouldn't work. And the teachers used to say that the teacher would say that if you do over 40 minutes on Zoom, you have to pay. So we only have 40 minutes to do. We only have 40 minutes to do Zoom.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting near exam times. How do you think you will fare in the exams? Because it's been a different way of learning. Um, you know, how do you think you'll fare, Jayla?
Oh, I think I'll fail in exams.
No, fare. How do you think you'll do in exams with all that's happened so far as remote learning, in classroom, back out to remote learning? How do you think you will do in the exam whenever it's time for exams?
um I feel like I'm gonna be pretty good. Like I'm not gonna be really bad with the exams, but I think I'm gonna do pretty decent in the exams because I would try do as much work as I can to, make sure I'm on top of my game and make sure that I actually understand the whole concept of what I'm doing.
Okay, all right, cool. What about you, Zayor? How do you think you're gonna make out in exams under these different circumstances?
I like doing exams because I don't have to listen to other people talking while I'm working. In exams,
Mm,
you have to be quiet. It's peace and quiet while I'm working. Other than in a classroom, some people might be talking to another person and it'd be hard to concentrate.
okay. Do you find the exam time to be challenging for you?
Sometimes if I get stuck on a question, I would sit there and do the question and not go on to another question. I'll sit there and be focused on that one question.
Okay. And how do you have you figured out let me move on, or are you planning to try and figure out let me move on and come back to that?
Well, I do all the questions that I know first, and then I go to the ones that I don't know.
Okay. All right. So you have a plan. Well done. Well done. What about you, Ben? How do you think you'll make out in exams?
Well, I don't think we'll go back online to online school and remote learning, but if we do, I probably wouldn't like it. But right now, we're not online, so I think it'll be fine.
And what about the exam time? Having to do exams with how things have been start with school for you.
I think they would be fine because I like how no one gets to talk and no one can like cheat and then the teacher can see what you know. And I think like I just do better when like it's quiet and no one's talking.
Mm, mm. And let me ask, because you guys obviously, when you were on lockdown, you would have missed all your friends. I know you were able to communicate via electronic devices, but being in person, how much did you really miss your friends, being able to train together, being able to do things physically together and all that? How much did you miss your friends, Ayo?
I miss my friends because I've got two sisters. One's 7 years younger than me, and one's 10 years younger than me. So I had no one my age to play to like talk to speak to go outside with, or to play a game with, or anything.
Okay. What about you, Ben?
I missed my friends quite a lot because you couldn't like do anything. You couldn't go to their house. You couldn't have them over or like play any sports with them. So yeah, I missed them a lot.
Okay. And Jayla?
I miss my friends a lot, like a lot, like to this her a lot. Only because like I miss like not just like I miss talking, talking to people, uh, and I miss like I'm not the type of person that's always laughing, so I miss having good laughs with people and making cracking jokes all the time, like normal.
Hmm. Okay, let me ask you this question. In your sport, the age you are at now, what would you tell yourself back when you started of what you know now once you got started, Jayla?
I will probably say the more effort you put into it is the more it will show in your games. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Zayor? What would you tell yourself back when you started, now that you're experienced what you experienced in your sport?
I would tell myself that football is not just all about winning. It's about having fun and making friends and having fun with your teammates. And I would tell him that football it gets harder and harder the older you get.
Okay, cool. And what about you, Ben? What would you tell yourself now that you've been through so much? What would you tell yourself when you first got started?
I'd probably say like work harder than everyone else and try new things and then get better at them until you
Okay.
like mastered them.
All right. You guys have had me thinking, wondering, laughing, which is always a good thing. I want to wish you all the best in the rest of your school year. Good luck in your exams. Hopefully, we can get rid of this COVID and you guys can get back out with your friends, playing the things that you like to do, as well as knowing that it is very important that you get into school, you do what you have to do. The world's your oyster. Keep up the good work. We look forward to seeing you doing bigger and better things in the very near future, okay? Do enjoy the rest of your night. Bye
Okay.
now.
Bye.
Bye.